Hi, I'm Kurt Schlichter. Welcome back to Take That with Kurt Schlichter. I am Kurt Schlichter, in case you were confused, here on Rebel Media. And we have a lot to talk about because, you know, it's been a slow news month so far. I mean, we're 3 days into May and everything's going crazy. And some things are crazier than others. And we're going to talk about two of them today with our special guest on Skype at the cutting edge of technology, my pal and fellow Rebel host, John Cardillo. First, I want to talk to you about one of the real serious things that's going on. And then I want to talk about something that's so mind-bogglingly stupid, it's going to literally make you want to gouge out your ears. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And then we're going to run these things by John Cardillo and see what he has to say about them. Anyway, let's talk about the Iran deal. What a steaming pile of wreckage, because I'm trying to say FCC compliant here. I don't really want to use the terms that accurately and profanely and probably vulgarly describe what the Iran deal is. The Iran deal, let me call upon my strategic studies degree from the United States Army War College to characterize it correctly. Steaming garbage fire of liberal dreams. Okay, the idea that you can somehow convince a bunch of 7th century savages to behave like civilized people and that you're going to trust them and then you're going to give them a ton of money is so mind-bogglingly stupid that only Barack Obama and the idiots who worked for him could come up with it. Let's look at what happened. You know, we got Benjamin Netanyahu as sent in the Mossad, and the Mossad literally stole the archives. This is like backing up a truck to the Library of Congress and going, okay, come on, boys, load it all in. They literally took everything from these clowns. And they've got it all. And what does it show? It shows that, well, this is my shocked face. The Iranians were lying. The Iranians were lying when they said they were going to disarm. Who could have seen it? Who could have, what? Huh? This is crazy talk. Well, I saw it. You saw it. Everyone with a lick of common sense saw it. And you know who else saw that the Iranians were lying and were going to cheat and weren't actually going to do what the deal said? Why? The people who insisted the deal was a great idea too. Because that's what happened this week. The guys who helped make this deal, the Susan Rices and that failed novelist Ben Rhodes, the boy genius of the Obama foreign policy machine, came out and said, well, this is no big deal. This is no big deal. We knew the Iranians weren't serious. We knew they were going to lie. We knew they were lying all the time. And because they were lying all the time and they were cheating, we should keep the Iran deal in place because reasons and more reasons. Except I'm unclear on the reasons. Now, look, I'm a lawyer. All right, I make arguments for a living. People give me money to make arguments. No one would ever give me money to make that argument because it's a terrible freaking argument. Okay, here's the idea. Well, yeah, I knew, come on, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My client, well, everyone knew he was an axe murderer. That's no surprise. Find him not guilty and set him free because we all knew he was an axe murderer. Okay, that's not a good argument. The idea that we make a deal with the Iranians that we know they're not going to argue, that's just a bad argument. And only liberals could say, you know, that's pretty profound. Makes a lot of sense to me. Let's keep this deal that they're not honoring in effect because we'd like them to. I'm not thinking that that's a great argument. I'm thinking that's a pretty terrible argument. It's the kind of argument only liberals could make. And liberals are making it. It's probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It literally makes me want to die. And it may make us die, literally, because what the Iranians found, or what the Iranians had, what the Israelis found, is a plan to strap atomic weapons on top of their Shahab missiles. Oh, by the way, this big Iranian deal, this super awesome agreement that we should totally keep in effect because I don't know why. I'm being attacked by wires here. This agreement that we should be keeping in effect for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe so Obama doesn't look like the damn fool he is, doesn't cover ballistic missiles. Ballistic missiles are the missiles that go up out of the atmosphere and then they come down and they've got a nuclear weapon on top of them and they blow up. So I don't know. I'm not thinking a deal that allows the Iranians to make atomic bombs and strap them to missiles that can then come and hit the American homeland. I'm thinking that is a bad idea. But the Obama guys think it's a great idea. And they also thought it was a great idea to make our allies in Poland and Czechoslovakia take the anti-ballistic missile systems that those countries had bravely agreed to install there out. So not only did the Obama guys create a situation where the Iranians were able to continue making nuclear missiles pointed at the United States, but the Obama geniuses also made it so we couldn't defend against them because they're f***ing idiots. This is a terrible deal. And the Israelis have once again done a service to Western civilization. Let's talk about the Israelis for a second. These guys are on the front line of the battle of civilizations. They are on the front line against a version of Islam that embraces 7th century apocalyptic savagery. Now look, the idea that every Muslim is somehow evil is just stupid, ignorant, and bigoted. There are Muslims dying right now beside American soldiers, fighting this kind of savagery. So this is not about Islam per se. This is about a branch of radical Islam that embraces an apocalyptic vision that demands the destruction of Israel and the United States. And we have to see it clearly. We have to understand it. We have to accept that our enemies are actually our enemies and they wish us ill. And we need to stop this childish notion that everybody is just like us. Well, actually, not just like you and me. Everybody's like these faculty lounge jerks, these academics who think everybody is just as feckless, weak, and stupid as they are. That was the mistake of the Obama administration. They thought everybody was a Chardonnay swilling liberal tool. But they're not. Some of these are bad people who want to do us harm, and they truly believe that we should be exterminated. How do I know? Just ask them. Listen to what they say. It's important to accept the truth. And that's what we need to do. And thank you, Israel. Thank you again for carrying the sword in the defense of Western civilization and Western values. What you've done, Israel, has maybe saved the lives of millions of Israelis, millions of Americans, millions of Western Europeans, and yeah, millions of Muslims. So thank you, Israel. Thank you again. Now, speaking of insanity and stupidity, I got my little thing here, got my little computer machine here, because a couple days ago, I came across something that was literally insane, and I thought I should share it with you because stuff that's nuts is not only fun to talk about, but sometimes it's highly educational. Highly educational. So I'm on Twitter, which I do occasionally. You can find me at at Kurt Schlichter, or find the hashtag caring, because that's kind of my thing. And I'm going through there looking for stuff that's interesting. And I found someone named Erin Brooke, E-R-Y-N-N Brooke. That's her Twitter handle. Now, she's blocked me, but see, I'm smart. I kind of saved a lot of these things. I took screenshots because they're so unbelievably insane. I wanted to share them with you. Erin Brooke is a feminist, which means, a liberal feminist, which means no man will ever love her. And we'll find out why in just a second. Anyway, she goes on Twitter and she decides she's going to explain all the problems she has with men in a 103 long tweet thread. That's right. She sat and composed 103 reasons, complaints, gripes, bits of advice about men. I want to share a few with you. By the way, number 103, because I responded to some, number 103 was to call me, I believe it was a paragon of toxic masculinity. So I'm here, I'm paragoning my toxic masculinity all up in there. But I want to show you some of these things. Number 22, assuming that partnership means that if one of you is worried about it, you don't have to worry about it. So basically, if the wife is taking care of something, the husband's got to be all up in arms about it too. Or if the husband's taking care of something, the wife's got to be up and around. Why, do you guys need a lot of relationship help from feminists? Do you need a lot of feminists coming and telling you, if you follow our stuff, you're going to make your life better? Okay, partnership is nice because sometimes you can allow the other to take the lead and handle something. What is this insanity? Why are these people so nuts? Oh, here's 24. This is right number 24. Not talking about little things that bother you. You're not allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to express them. No one is a mind reader. Okay, let me give you some man advice. If you're a man, don't be a simpering little wuss who bitches about small stuff, okay? Don't sit around and complain, oh, you left the toothpaste cap off. I have feels. My God, what's wrong with you? Man the hell up. Look, she doesn't want you to be a better man. She wants to make you a better woman. Oh, number 33, assuming that self-help education is woman stuff. Who gendered being a better person / partner / parent? I like how she uses gendered as like a verb. How about I have a counteroffer? She says, you shouldn't assume that self-help education is women's stuff. How about I decide for myself what the hell I'm going to assume is what? That is, how about I make my own decisions and you sit there and like it, Aaron Brooke? Oh my God, what is wrong with you? 35, not caring about the world. That's her gripe, not caring about the world. In every hetero couple I know, women are far more concerned with systemic issues than men. Activism is not a hobby, it's necessary. Share the load. Okay, listen, you frivolous harpy. All right, when my daughter was 6 months old in October of 2004, I went back on active duty. I left my wife and my little kid, and I went back on duty for 16 months to go to another country with the United States Army to help prevent a genocide, to actually risk my life, put my business in danger of bankruptcy, and separate myself from my family, including, let me reemphasize, my 6-month-old daughter, to go help a bunch of people in Kosovo I had never met. I didn't know these people. I didn't know the Albanians. I didn't know the Serbs. They weren't my people, but I went with a bunch of other Americans who also sacrificed to go help strangers. And when I came back, my daughter, who was with the Cuban family a lot, she called me Tio. That's the word for uncle because she thought I was just another uncle. Listen, you frivolous twit. I don't need you lecturing me on caring. I did it. What the hell did you ever do besides write 103 tweets, you whining sap? God damn. And then 36, not moisturizing. You have skin, that itch, it's dry skin. Skin is not gendered. I don't need you giving me a skincare regimen, you monster. Okay. My feeling is the proper response to radical feminists who want to tell you how to live is to laugh at them and do what the hell you damn well please. Let's bring in my friend John Cardillo and see what John has to say about this. I'm sure John's going to have some good opinions, and we'll probably talk about more serious stuff like Iran and whatever the hell else is going on. So let's take a break, and then let's go see John Cardillo. All right, now I'm bringing in my pal John Cardillo, fellow Rebel media pundit in his home studio. Look at that.
How you doing, man? I am doing great. Yeah, I am finally back at my home studio. Finally, after
you were wrapped up in stuff.
Yeah. A little South Florida traffic, just a little bit of South Florida traffic.
Well, I'm really excited that you admire my backdrop.
I love that backdrop. I'm actually right now Googling cool brick wall backdrops because I'm outclassed on my backdrop right now.
I feel like I should be up here saying, what's the deal with airline food? Try the veal, 2-drink minimum, which for us truly is a minimum.
Oh, God, yes. Airlines. Southwest Airlines had another window crack today, speaking of airlines.
Another window crack. That's craziness.
It's out of control.
I love Southwest. They're always cool to me. I used to fly in uniform, and they would just be so nice to me.
They take care of you.
They say, thank you for your service. And I'm like a colonel, and I didn't serve. I just sort of sat there and did what Sergeant Major told me, which made me a really good colonel.
Last time I flew Southwest, I asked for one of those little pair of kitty plastic wings. They actually gave me a set. So Southwest won me over.
See, they give and give and give. Hey, speaking of insanity, what do you make of this Iran deal thing and the Mossad's intelligence coup? How about that, huh?
You know, what are Rouhani and Khomeini doing right now? I mean, how just infuriated must these two guys be that Israel, I mean, if we did it, it would be bad enough. If the Brits and MI6 did it, it would be bad enough. But Israel embarrassed them in front of the world. I mean, could this be any more a poetically, what is the word? Poetically just?
Justice.
Poetic justice.
They literally backed up a truck or something and like physically took all the, what the? It's hysterical.
It was like one of those videos, like one of those surveillance videos where like the meth heads back the pickup in a 7-Eleven and pull out the ATM. They just kind of went through the wall and grabbed the safes.
It's insane. But you know, the only thing better than Israel humiliating these 7th century savages is the schadenfreude we've been experiencing watching the likes of Ben Rhodes. What do you think of that?
Epic. Well, look, it's epic, right? Ben Rhodes, you know, you and I are kind of ganging up on people on Twitter all the time. What? Ben Rhodes was tweeting, I know you would never do anything like that. Ben Rhodes is tweeting before this, really before North Korea, Ben Rhodes is tweeting 3 or 4 times a day, slamming the Trump administration. April 27th, North and South Korean leaders shake hands. Ben Rhodes has gone radio silent. What's Ben Rhodes going to say? That we were wrong about literally everything, that we were the worst foreign policy team in the history of the United States?
Can I do a quick impression of the Obama foreign policy team over the last month?
Please.
There you go. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's just every time Trump does, it's spot on. And I'll add something to that. Trump, you ever watch Seinfeld, Kurt?
I always watch Seinfeld.
Okay, Trump is now Newman to them. Every time Newman.
Trump.
Every time he does something, Trump. This is epic. It's epic. Ben Rhodes is he's such an insufferable. Oh.
Hi, we're going to throw out the Iran deal. And oh, by the way, I just made peace in North Korea. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. And while I was at it, I eradicated all your EPA regulations and helped the auto industry. Joke's on you.
Oh, and Gorsuch. Look, if you're some never Trump Fredo cone right about now, you've got to be beside yourself. You've got to be, if you're Bill Kristol.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You're standing on the deck looking at the water going, it's so inviting.
It is so inviting. I don't even care if they drop 20 pina coladas on the Lido deck. I'm not cleaning any of them up. I'm not even dancing for my supper on this cruise anymore. No, look.
Yeah, caution, never Trumper tears.
But look, these are the same people who thought they had the monopoly on pure conservatism, right? They apparently owned the ideological mantra of conservatism, and they're being not embarrassed, Kurt. They're being disgraced by the day. We were told Trump is a New York City liberal. He's a globalist. He's a phony. He's never going to get anything done. This guy is doing more in the last 2 months than the rest of these people did in the last 20 years.
Yeah, well, John, I thought all those things about Donald Trump at the beginning. But, his actions proved me wrong, and I was man enough to admit. And that reminds me of the next subject we've got to talk about. You're occasionally on the Twitter machine. Did you see that young feminist woman, Erin Brooke, who tweeted out 103 complaints about men?
Yeah, I saw that. And something tells me that Erin Brooke doesn't have a date this weekend.
I'm thinking she's lonely. I'm thinking she needs to go out and get a Chinese prom dress.
Yes, she needs a Chinese prom dress. But you and I might be able to be booked to hand her the Spinster of the Decade award. So there's silver lining in that cloud.
Can I run a couple of these by you? Because I think they're
really
exceptional. She has had, we've already talked a little before you came on about these. But I think that you're just so magical that you've got to hear it. Let's see. Here's number 34. Number 34. Arguing with words you don't like because you didn't bother to look up what they mean.
Oh, so men are dumb. They're illiterate.
Yeah, we're done. I'm not much for that fancy book learning.
Yeah, I don't like any of that book learning and such.
Let's see. She complains about number 36, not moisturizing. Apparently men are much too dry.
Yeah, there's a secondary question, I guess, where?
Well, number 31, absolutely all misinformation, stereotypes, ickiness about menstruation. You know, I don't want to talk about menstruation. I don't, and I reserve that right.
Yeah, in fact, I think it's kind of icky. And it's kind of icky. If you
We're not supposed to say that, but you know, it kind of is, and I don't want any part of it. Number 35. Now, you were a police officer. You put your life on the line for people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of did some Army stuff.
You kind of were stationed in pretty hot zones in the Balkans, Kurt. Don't underplay it.
But I showed up. Number 35. Not caring about the world. In every single hetero couple I know, women are far more concerned with systemic issues than men. Activism is not a hobby. It's necessary. Share the load. Okay, now I'm annoyed.
What does that even mean? Like, what does it even mean? Men are just like these troglodytes, while the women are the enlightened sex who go out there to save the world. Well, you know, shame on the men that they're out there trying to make a living to feed their kids. Oh, the horror.
Well, shame on us for, you know, leaving our families to go away to some country we've never been to.
Right.
To meet people we don't know, to try and keep them from being butchered in a fight that isn't ours. And I'm getting lectured by this hipster doofus with a fetish for vinyl and bands you've never heard of.
Yeah, exactly.
By her about caring.
I'd love her to tell the families of the 4 special operators killed in Nigeria or the Arizona and Maine police officers, all men, by the way, killed last week protecting others. I'd love her to say that to their families.
Well, she never would because she doesn't know anyone like that.
Yeah, good point.
These soft human Ken dolls with their pork pie hats and stupid goatees who've never been in a fist fight.
Yeah, no, it's true. Hey, quick side story. Did I ever tell you when we were looking for a guy in the police department, we thought his name was Kendall. We couldn't find him until we realized that his name was actually Ken-Doll.
Wow. I'm thinking he wasn't a flasher.
No, he was not. He said that when he was born, his mama thought he was fine like a Ken doll. So she decided to name him that. And he actually worked for him. We couldn't catch him for about 6 months.
Well, I think that's how we need to end this because we're never going to top Ken-Doll. John, thank you for showing up. It's always fun to talk to you. You always have something interesting to say. And I appreciate my new show, Take That with Kurt Schlichter here on Rebel Media.
One of the best shows on the web. Everybody should keep watching this show. Thanks, Kurt.
It's definitely one of the shows on the web. Thank you, John.
All right, that was John Cardillo. That was an illuminating discussion. I like that we're going in a new direction. I want to keep some energy up here. I want some excitement. I want to have some laughs. I think I want to, give you guys some ideas, help you learn a little, because I've done a couple things. Maybe I can share some things. But you guys can share with me too. Get on Twitter. Tell me what you think. I'm at Kurt Schlichter, or find the hashtag caring. And follow me, and follow the Rebel too, because the Rebel is a great place to be. You should become a member, and you should follow guys like John Cardillo, Seb Gorka, Katie Hopkins, Amanda Hatta. There's so many. You need to get in there. You need to do that. I'm real proud to be a part of it. Thank you guys for joining me. I will see you next week here on Take That with Kurt Schlichter here on Rebel Media. Adios.